Welcome back to Travels of the World, the podcast, a platform where we can celebrate adventurers who believe that life doesn't stop at 50. In fact, that's when it starts to get more interesting and liberating. Here we honour the curious spirits whose passion for travel only grows bolder with age. I'm your host, Angela Jane, and if you've ever thought that travel is something you should have done when you were younger, then today's guest is here to prove you wrong and to inspire you to start now. My guest today is Kate Narracott, based in Queensland, Australia. She is a passionate travel advisor and a thriving business owner with MTA Travel. She's built more than a career, she's built in a community. Her approach is personal, soulful, and rooted in connection. Now in her mid-60s, Kate is still exploring, still inspiring, and still guiding others to take that first or even 50th step into the world of travel, especially for those in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. And that's what today's episode is really about. Life after 50, reinvention, embracing new chapters, and rediscovering who you are through the places you go. So let's dive into a heartfelt, joyful, and wisdom-filled conversation with a woman who truly walks the walk and talks the talk when it comes to saying yes to the world. All right. Well, welcome, Kate. It's so lovely to have you here on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, thank you for having me. This is wonderful.
Great. Yeah, I know I'm in Saudi and you're in Australia, but it's just wonderful how we can just connect like this, even though.
But I think the connection is so very big for us. It doesn't matter what countries we are, we're so very well connected, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
Which makes this such an amazing adventure.
For sure, for sure. So before we jump into dream destinations and memorable moments, I'd love to hear about the beginning, your beginning.
Okay.
Because every traveler has that moment, right? That little spark that ignites a lifetime of adventure, right? So what first sparked your love for travel, and what led you to build your own business?
Okay, so for me, go back many decades. For me, it was movies and documentaries. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have all the technology we have now. We had black and white TV. I'm old enough to remember that, and color TV. So I would watch endlessly any program by Sir David Attenborough. It would come on TV, and I would yearn to be part of that world. Other things like movies, where friends of mine, teenage girlfriends of mine, would be watching dreamy-eyed over beautiful film stars or the clothes. I had the same reaction when I'd see the Colosseum, the Taj Mahal, or the African jungle. So I saw, when I was very young, I went and saw a movie called Born Free. So I think that started my passion for not only adventure, but I wanted to live a life of adventure, not just see a life of adventure. So I think that's where it all started for me. But I didn't set out to run my own business. That was something that took me a long time to believe that I wanted that to be a part of my life's direction. I didn't go into the travel industry to make money. I went in there because it gave me a sense of joy and a sense of fulfilling my own adventures and seeing the adventures come to life for other people. So that's where it all started for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, you do it so naturally and so passionately that it doesn't feel like a job, right?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. It's a gift.
So. And what was that defining moment when you knew travel would be your life's calling?
Now, it's interesting you should ask that, because I don't know for me that there was one moment. It took me a long time. An interesting, not a difficult path, a really interesting path to get here. I knew that it was my passion. I didn't know that I'd ever be lucky enough to have it as my career. That was something I had to almost orchestrate as the decades went on. I had an older brother who was 8 years older than me, who, when I was a teenager, he moved overseas, and he would send me letters and postcards describing everywhere he'd been and what he was doing. And I knew that I had a thirst for discovering what was outside my door. So whether it was fueled by an older brother, inviting me into his world, whether it was fueled by having to shelve the dream and push it along till that opportunity was either made for me or I made it for myself, I'm not sure. But I don't think there was just that. I think it was just part of me always. And I either
Yeah.
fed it or I encouraged it or I kept sending myself down paths to maybe one day have that happen.
Yeah, yeah, it's obviously in your blood
I
too.
think so. I think so.
Right, yeah,
Yeah, I think it might be.
yeah. And do you approach travel differently now in your 60s than you did perhaps in your 30s or 40s?
Mm, yes, I do, but for a variety of reasons. So when I was younger, say in my 30s and 40s, so I had my children at nearly 30 and a little bit older than that. So those years were consumed with either traveling with them as a family, traveling, they were very involved in sport. So I traveled within Australia and internationally for and with them. So, as
Mm.
a mum, as you would understand, it isn't about you, it's about them.
Yes,
So, it was family time, it was sporting time. So, I think by the older I've gotten, and my children are now well and truly grown off and living overseas themselves, or one of them is, I now look at it as my time. And I
mm,
don't think of that as selfish or anything. It's just my time. I
abs-
gave everything to my kids, and as we all did, as you did for yours. And now you suddenly step into a decade and go, oh, so I can think about me first,
yeah,
which
that
I couldn't
suddenly,
do for a long time.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
you
and that
realize that you as a person, right?
that's right. And that just doesn't happen one day you suddenly realize it. It's sort of as an evolution of, oh, okay, so this is, I can make this decision for me. So yeah, I just approach it slightly more, I'm going to say selfishly, but that's the wrong word, slightly
Yeah,
more indulgently about what
yes,
my needs are. So,
yeah, absolutely.
hmm.
And you and I both know that travel after 50 isn't just about ticking boxes, right?
Oh gosh,
It's yeah, it's deeper, more intentional, connecting more meaningfully with ourselves and with the people within the world, right? So what does travel mean to you now in this season of life?
okay, so for me, I sometimes forget that I'm actually well over 60 and that I can't necessarily do all in a day that I once did. So the planning of ideas, my next destination, the preparation for that departure is still just as exciting to me now as it was in my 20s. I just now slow it down. I delve deeper into places. I think it was in my younger years, it was a bit more frenetic that you'd get to a place and go, oh, I've got 10 days, and you'd run around everywhere and try and see everything. Now I
Correct.
don't. I've seen a lot as you have. Now I go back and spend time digging deeper and delving deeper into that one particular area. So I think that's what's different for me. Um, I've noticed that myself, and as you know, I've recently had a little accident where I fractured my knee. That made
Mhm.
me more even acutely aware of people's who are older, the
Mm,
nuances they might have with their health and well-being, and how they may look at travel. So I think I've always been aware, but I think I've become even more aware now of
mm.
things to aid and assist that can make those journeys less hazardous, less daunting, and just a little bit more of a smooth transition.
Yeah, maybe that was your sign of that awareness.
Maybe. Well, I could have had another one. I didn't care for the sign I got, so I wouldn't mind a different sign.
No, exactly. No,
So,
I know. Don't want to wish that upon you.
no.
So what kinds of travel do you see 50 plus clients craving these
Oh.
days?
So I can talk about my clients, and most of my demographic are predominantly over 50. And I think COVID had a bit to do with this, but certainly post COVID and now, My clients they have a thirst for
Yeah.
travel. They're no longer what was mainstream a number of years ago for the over 50s and over 60s was they might book a land tour,
Yeah.
might book some independent travel, or they might book a cruise and some independent. Now they're booking 2 and 3 tours, cruises back to back. And instead of staying away for a month, they're staying away for 8 to 12 weeks.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, so I think, and that seems to be fairly across the board for my clients. Very
Mm.
few of them are doing that 3 weeks to Europe, fly in, do a beautiful river cruise, spend a couple of days either side, and fly home. They're wanting
Mm.
so much more. So
Yeah.
I don't know what the reason for. I'm putting it down to COVID, but it may not be. It just may be a change of attitude as
Yeah.
much as
But
anything.
I also think that, in this later age when people have retired, they actually have more time.
They
And
do.
it comes back to not that selfishness. It's not
No,
selfish. It's
no,
time for you, for them personally.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So the other things I'm seeing is they're after, I'm going to call it soft adventure. They're
mhm.
after something wonderful, like maybe a few days of exploring, maybe a little bit of soft hiking, maybe, something a little bit more strenuous. Then maybe do a cruise or a river cruise or something else. Then
Mhm.
they'll do something else that they like to come back to at the end of the day,
Yeah.
something a little bit more. I don't want to use luxurious because that's a misnomer. Something a
Yeah.
little bit comforting that they can come
Yeah.
back and go, shoes are off. I'll put the slippers on. I've got a glass of wine in my hand and let's talk about our day. That's what
Mm.
they're looking for. That they
Absolutely.
don't have to get up at 7, be back at 7 p.m. exhausted to start it again. Um,
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
noticed
Yeah.
one of the things that, and I know you're a little different to this, but a lot of my clients who are my age have gone away from self drive. And I think
Okay.
part of that is confidence. So,
Yes.
and that's something I'm noting with certainly with the well over 60s who may only be traveling once a year. I think for those of you who are on the continent or traveling more often, the
Yes.
confidence level is there.
Yes.
Some have lost that. So they're
Right.
removing that. So they'll do things like trains, not necessarily a coach tour, but they love trains. So they know that get to the station,
Yeah.
move on, and do what we have to do then. So yeah,
Yeah.
self drive is gone.
Okay. Or
Or it's
even
golden.
or group travel. Being in a group where
That's right.
everybody.
They want the comfort of somebody looking after them.
Mm.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. No. Very interesting. So you're
yeah,
not just a traveler. You've built a business that touched countless lives. I know that for sure. You
absolutely.
you're someone who helps others step into their travel dreams with confidence. And that takes more than logistic. It actually takes heart, right?
It
So,
does.
what do you love most about helping others travel?
I think you hit the nail on the head for me, and this is not a judgment of anybody else how they run their businesses. Everybody runs great and successful businesses very differently. For me, it all comes down to it does come from the heart. It comes from connections. Um, my clients all come from a variety of backgrounds, some with modest budgets, some with a more generous budget. For some, it's their one and only big holiday. They've worked all their life and this is it. So all the first of many. But what I see are not the dollars, and of what they wish to spend. What I see is how hard they've worked, what they've gone without of, what they've sacrificed to get there. So every single itinerary is treated with respect and planned with as much content and love and passion that I can include for them.
Mm.
But that probably hasn't answered your question in total. What I love most about my job is the connection with people.
Yeah.
For my clients, many of my clients have been with me for 20 to 30 years.
Yes.
So there's a genuine love and affection shared between us. I see the joy on their faces before they leave. I share in the moments after they return. And to know I was a part of that journey, and to give them moments that will stay with them for the rest of their lives, it's an honor. And I treasure it, and I value it. And I
Yeah.
think they know that.
Yeah.
I've had the joy of traveling with my clients or meeting up with them in
Mm.
places overseas, even for just a cup of coffee or a glass of wine. That's so special.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
beautiful. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I
It,
think for me, that's what I love most. It's the people.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's I think the basis of your businesses that you have
Yeah,
built. You
yeah.
So what has changed most in the travel industry since you started,
Since
over these
I
years?
started,
Mm,
okay. I thought for a long time that the online agent or the budget group travel market maybe could be a game changer, and that perhaps clients would lean towards saving a few dollars or cutting corners on the experiences in order to save those dollars. Because, I mean, especially in the last year or so, the economy's not been great for a lot of people.
mm,
But what I'm seeing, that hasn't been the case. Certainly not, and I can only speak about my business, that
mm,
hasn't been the case at all. What agents like myself offer is the one thing that's lacking in so many businesses, which is customer service.
absolutely.
Full from start to finish, to hold their hands all the way through and give their attention. For me, it's 7 days a week. I do have a 24/7 policy, which I don't say lightly. It is a reality, and I stick by it. It's very
Mm,
few weeks go past that I don't work 7 days a week by choice.
yes.
If my client needs me, I'm there. So,
Yes.
mm.
Which, yeah, it's not very often you find that these days.
No. So, as I
Yeah.
said, I think the basis of that question, what's changed most, is the customer service.
Yes.
There's so much click and flick, get them in, get them out, send them on their way without the extras.
Yeah.
And I get it, the extras take time. Time is money to big businesses. And so I
Yes.
understand it, but it's not my choice.
It's all this online, the advancement of online too.
Oh,
There's
absolutely.
no human anymore, as
No,
it used to. But
so
you've
I
maintained,
thought that would be a game changer. I thought that could be my competition, but it's
no,
not at all.
no.
And so they have their place, and I respect that. I have my
Mm,
place. So I stay in my lane. So
absolutely. And keep doing that.
I'll just stay where I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
So,
And what are the biggest myths people over 50 believe about travel? And how do
oh,
you change that?
okay. So I think we're all saturated with so much advertising promotions, destinations that they dream about. But sometimes the advertising they're seeing either online or on the TV, wherever it might be, is way above what they may have thought their budget was going to be. So it puts them off. So
Yeah.
before they even get started, they've seen the advertising for the beautiful 5-star experiences and think that, well, maybe that's the only way to do this. They presume that the only way is what they've just seen. My job, and I love to do this, is to break all that down, show
Mm,
them a way to do that not as a 5-star, maybe as a 4-star, maybe as a 3-star, and put some 5-star or 4-star moments in for them. So to
right.
tailor it, I think that's a really important word, to tailor it to suit
Mm,
their budget, to their
mm,
needs, to their pace, and when they finally see it, it's like a giant grey cloud that just lifts away from them. And they
mm.
suddenly realize that this is achievable. And
Okay.
that's something that I see a lot. So
Yes.
whether that's a myth or whether that's a perception, I don't know, but it
Mm.
seems to be a fairly common thing that I see quite a bit.
Mm. And also, it's a generational thing because they think, oh, money is sacred, we've got to keep
Yes.
saving. We cannot spend on the extras. And
No.
so, but if
No.
we,
So, well,
yeah,
I often refer to them and my clients do say that, going,
mm,
oh, look, I've already spent, and let's just pick $20,000 Australian, and which is
mm,
a substantial amount. They sometimes balk at spending another 500 on an experience that they've
Yes.
got. So I talk them through it, and then I don't mean I go flippant. I don't. I say, okay, let's just look at the bigger picture here. I said,
Mm.
why don't you, if that's something you really wanted to do, say it was going to the top of the Eiffel Tower and having dinner, looking
Mm.
out over and seeing the beautiful lights. Say it was something like that. That was what you always wanted to do. You'll never
Yeah.
get a chance to do it. Come home and live on budget dinners for a month. That will pay for that. You'll never get that moment back.
That
There's
is so,
ways to economize, but there's
yes.
not ways to get the moments back. So,
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
It's
so we
just getting
talk
a
a lot
different,
about that.
yeah, and a different mindset. And, it's all about, education and talking through
Yeah,
what is possible, right? Yeah.
yeah, and it's the relationship and the communication.
Correct.
They won't see it by picking up a brochure or even having a 10-minute chat with a salesperson in a shop. They
Mm.
will see it. In my case, where I sit with them in their home, I'll sit
Mm.
there for 2 hours if I have to and talk them through it and
Okay.
explain to them step by step any of their concerns of what they might have had. So I think that helps them a lot, which is
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah. No,
And
it's beautiful. Yeah, definitely. Kate, you've seen so much of the world. So let's get into some stories.
okay.
Yeah. We all have that one destination that leaves a mark, right? Or that unexpected moment that becomes unforgettable. Is there a destination that absolutely changed you?
Yes, 100%. For me, it was walking the Camino de Santiago in
Yes.
Spain. It changed the way I looked at myself.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, not even professionally. It changed. I was 55 when oh gosh, no, I was 57 when I did it, 50, nearly 58.
Right.
So it changed. I was already established as I thought who I was. No, not at all. I learnt so much about myself. I challenged myself physically and emotionally in ways that I could never imagined. It was a walk of mind, body, and soul, which I thought I understood before I left, but I discovered the true meaning of those words with every step I took. I faced obstacles that went above and beyond what I thought my body could do. So, without doubt, no matter what I do for the rest of my life, that will be the one that affected me the most. Um,
Right.
the
Yeah.
hardest thing I've ever done, but it was the thing that affected me the most
Right.
in
Okay.
every
Yes.
possible way. Mm.
Absolutely. Yeah. And is there a place that keeps calling you back?
So I had a little think about this, and there's three. So, and they're
Okay.
all for very different reasons. The three are Africa,
Okay.
India, and
Yes.
closer to home, the Bunya Mountains. So
Right.
Africa has been the place in my heart for as long as I can remember. It has
Mm-hmm.
burned deep within, and when I finally travelled there, I was overcome with the experience. It exceeded everything I could have imagined, but
Mm.
it made me hungry to experience more. I still
Yes.
need to return at least once more to fulfill one of my lifelong goals is to sit quietly in the jungle with the silverback gorillas.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
that's still out there to do.
Yes.
India has a story. So, and you have talked to me about your beautiful country for as long as I've known you, but it didn't resonate with me as a place to visit for a very long time.
Mm.
So when the opportunity, well, I actually made the opportunity. I took a group over there a number of years ago before COVID, and I took 16 like-minded people over there to visit India and tour India and to look at different projects that were being operated by a Rotary Club or a
Yeah.
variety of Rotary clubs. So that was the purpose of going. I went very open-minded. I went with the joy I was going to go to see these projects where I could learn myself about giving back into communities, which is something that's quite dear to me. I was totally blown away to the extent that 17 days after I returned back to Australia with the group, I flew back over again and toured more.
Yes.
I was, I think there's a thing for India where I think I saw India, but what I finally did was I felt India. And
Right.
I think that's a big difference. You can see, and I understood her, and I now give her a pronoun. She is a her. to me because
Right.
I felt her. And I
Okay.
didn't know that that's something that I would do. Certainly not being of Indian heritage
Mm,
myself. And there
mm.
were several moments that when that happened. And this country holds now a very, very special place in my heart. And I can't wait to go back. But,
Yeah.
and we will. You and I will for sure.
Yes, we've got a
So,
plan to go there.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
definitely.
do. The third is the Bunya Mountains, a
Yes.
beautiful area, a couple of hours away from Brisbane. And I've been there in excess of 40 times now, and I hope to do another 40 trips.
Okay.
But it's a place that I associate with the happiest of times shared with my family and friends, enjoying the natural beauty, the animals, the endless laughter, the simple things of playing board games, cricket in the front yard, hot scones in the afternoon, things like that. So I think the thread that's coming through here is everything comes from me from a heart. Everything
Yes,
I'm passionate about,
correct.
that's the root source for me. So yeah, they're my three. And thank
Yeah.
you for sharing India with me. And we actually
Yeah,
got to mm.
definitely. I think I've told you many times, I think your past life might have actually stemmed from India.
I think so. I was so surprised by how much it touched me.
Mm,
It took my breath away. I didn't think that would happen. And every day I was there, it just kept happening more. But on the second trip when I was there, basically on my own,
yeah,
it was felt, like I said, I felt it rather than saw it. So
yeah,
I think
absolutely.
mm,
And were there any moments that made you laugh, cry, or even question everything?
that's easy. COVID.
Yeah,
COVID,
yeah.
not a lot of laughter, but a lot of
No.
tears,
Mm,
frustration. And yes, I did question whether I would stay in the industry or whether I could stay in the industry. I didn't know what the industry would be like when we eventually came out of it. But through the tears, there came friendships that were already established, deeper friendships out of the worst days of our travel careers. And you experienced it, and we experienced it together for quite a long time. Or moments when my remarkable clients who'd also lost all their travel dreams, they would ring me almost every day. There was very few days where I didn't get a phone call or a gift at my door of them just touching base to make sure that I was okay. And
mm,
they just kept reassuring me that we're going to be there for you when this is over. We're not going to leave you. So
mm,
COVID did make me question. COVID did make me wonder, but at no point did I ever think I couldn't stay. I just knew I
mm.
had to. Somehow or other, I had to
Yeah,
come through the other side, and I'm so glad I did.
yeah. And
So
came back bigger and better. I know.
I think we all have. I
Yeah.
think we've come back differently,
Mm,
which is good.
yeah.
No.
Uh, Kate, I know you've led your fair share of group trips, and those come with their own kind of magic, from bonding moments to total unpredictability. It's actually a different kind of adventure, altogether. So, why are you passionate about taking groups away?
So groups started for me, the trip when I mentioned before when I walked the Camino, I
Mm,
think that's where it started. I told my clients what I was doing, and independently, 16 of them said, "We want to see you come in." And I thought they were all joking, but they
mm,
weren't. So 16 of my clients flew across to Madrid and waited
mm,
for me to come in from the walk. So and then we partied for a week all together in an apartment block, and then I took them on a 5-star tour. So that was my first group.
mhm,
While I was on that tour, I realized how much I loved being a part of the group world. So I organized my second group tour while I was on my first, sitting on the bus traveling with them. And so I think that started it. But once again, it's about the people that you travel with. It's about being a part of the fun with them, not
mm,
just sitting back and sending them away. The joy of being able to travel with them is just,
mm,
it goes to another level for me. And I get so involved and so engrossed in what they're doing. It's
mm,
fabulous fun.
mm,
So I recently started I've recently, just a couple of weeks ago, started something different. Normally, what I do with my tour groups is I choose the destination and I choose the tour. I either design it or choose a ready-made tour. I decided this time to approach my database, or a cross-section of my database, with people who expressed an interest in wanting to travel with me at some point in the future. They didn't know where they wanted to go or when. So I put together an idea, and I'm going to call it Choose Your Own Adventure.
Okay.
So I sent out an email to them, a survey basically, and said, okay, this is what I'm proposing. You tell me where you'd like to go. And I gave them choices, I gave them ideas, I gave them all sorts of things. The negative part that could have come from that, I sent out about 40. I could have got 40 different responses of 40 different countries, and I would have been back to square one. But the percentage of probably 25% of them came back and said a particular destination. Today I've actually just organised my group tour for the latter part of 2026. I took them all out to lunch last Friday and said, okay, this is a decision. This is what the majorities wanted. Who's with me? And I think I've got 10 booked on it, well, 10 already on it, and I haven't advertised at all yet. It's not even designed yet. So that was quite empowering to watch them take ownership of it. So I think it's just about learning and doing things differently.
And are there any standout memories that also always make you smile?
I think there are several, but I think there was one in Africa. Well, there was many in Africa. Africa was very emotional because for a lot of reasons I didn't think I was going to get there. But we'd spent the afternoon down in Botswana on the Trevi River. We did a beautiful river safari, which was just lovely. So something I do with all my groups is I always put a surprise in there. It's something I gift to all my clients. And it might be, in this case, what I'd done was we had a beautiful Boma dinner, which is the African barbecue, and I had that in a private area, and they thought that was very special. But what I'd done was organised a dance troupe to come in, and just for our group. And it wasn't just to perform. They brought all the costuming, and we all became, those who wanted to, it wasn't compulsory, those who wanted to became part of the performance. Nice. It was hilariously, absolutely wonderful. I'd say out of the 16, probably 10 of them joined in, and we were in full costume from top to bottom in our own private area. We were there for several hours with them, and I paid them handsomely for their time and their generosity of bringing everything to us. So that was very special. When I look back at the photos and the videos of all of us dancing together, and the unexpected joy when you give clients a gift. I think the ones in Spain, I took them all out to a very authentic flamenco night and things like that. I haven't decided what the one in Finland and Lapland is yet, but that will come. So it's just something that we're doing that. Yeah, we're doing that. So, but it's just something that I always do for my clients on a group tour with me. It's a gift.
Yeah, great. And one thing I admire so much about you, Kate, is your ability to empower others, right? And the truth is, many people in our audience feel that tug to travel, but also hesitate to move forward. What would you say to someone in their 50s, 60s, or 70s even, who wants to travel but feels held back by fear, finances, health, or even uncertainty? What would you say?
Well, I think being held back by fear is something every one of us has to struggle with at some point. But if you have a dream, if you have, and I'm talking about my clients here, or even you and I, if you have some small part of you that knows that it wants just a little bit more, to see a little bit more, to experience to experience something, whether it be international or Australia, or just that moment when they're traveling that they never thought they'd have, my advice is work with a travel professional who doesn't see you as a source of income. because that's the difference. If they see you as a source of income, and I'm not being disrespectful to anybody out there, you can look at clients very differently. If you look behind what they're after and take the time to find out what those dreams are,
Yes.
you get to understand what their needs are, what their desires are, what their dreams are. So find somebody, work with a travel professional who sees who you are and gets to know you and respects and understand that there are concerns that are very real to you, but they can be worked through together. Try to do it for them to try and do it independently. They end up going down, if they go on the internet, they go down rabbit holes that scares them even more. So you remove that and you become the conduit between the dream and the fear, or the fear, the dream and the reality. And
That's right.
That can be financial, that can be emotional, that can be whatever it might be, you work through to find a solution. So, but it's finding that person who it doesn't see you as a source of income. It sees you as something to make this a reality.
Yeah. And do you believe travel can be healing?
Gosh, yes. Oh my goodness. Travel is about discovery, whether it be about yourself or a companion or a destination. So yes, as you discover more about who you are, what you want, and where we've all fit into this world, the travel can be soothing and it can bring you peace. I'm a better person from traveling, not because I've seen the big touristy places or I can tick off a variety of countries, but because I took the time to look inside, to look behind and really see the places, and even more importantly, to see the people. It's then that you see yourself differently. You know that for a brief time you share their community and that you may have even made a brief difference in their world, but they have made a bigger difference in my world by being a part of that. So yeah, it is healing if you allow it to be.
Correct.
I think some people can travel super on the surface, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
I know you and I can't.
No.
It's just not who we are. So
and so you probably have answered a little bit, but maybe expand on it. What has travel taught you about people, cultures, and yourself?
I think the two words that can best answer that are respect and tolerance. Be respectful of others. Be respectful of differences between our cultures. Be tolerant of everybody around you as you're unaware of what lies beyond the facade of those people. Be tolerant of your own mind and body and listen to it when it gives you a warning sign. So I think you could blindly go bullet gate through your travel experiences, or be irritated if a shop assistant was a bit, discourteous or something happened. You don't know what happened in their world. You don't know what happened 10 minutes beforehand. So be tolerant, be kind. And then I think travel has also helped to teach me that.
No, definitely. It's the same with me, living an expat life. Trying to adjust to different cultures.
Absolutely.
And all.
Absolutely. And you more so, you've traveled far more extensively than I have, but you've also done it, you've also lived, not just traveled to places. When you're living in those communities, very, very different experience to traveling through them, or even traveling at a very relaxed pace. What you're experiencing is vastly different.
No, it totally is. Now, coming back to your family, has travel had an impact on your family, and do your kids share that travel bug?
Okay, so the big answer is a gigantic yes. Both my children have travelled extensively. The eldest one has travelled in her younger years, in her 20s. She lived overseas and has travelled more as a tourist after that, which is lovely, gone back and visited places she's wanted to go to and experience, which is wonderful. The youngest is probably a bit more like me than he cares to admit. He spent the last 3 years traveling in the world in a way that I could never have imagined him doing. He's currently living in Budapest and has been there for several months now. He's become a part of the world, not just somebody moving through it. He chooses to live in these places and work and then move on after 3-4 months. In one case, he was there for 18 months in the very tip of the Rocky Mountains. So he's been doing this for a long time with a no thought of ever slowing down. So in answer to that, yeah, the travel bug has bitten both of them, but it's bitten him in the way I wish it had bitten me back then. Okay. So back at his age, but the opportunity presented itself, and the world, it was a different world then, back then. So it's very easy to talk about, have your children embrace travel, and you encourage them to travel. You push them out the door. You literally push them out that nest to go and do it. When they finally do it, you're almost at the airport dragging them back, going, no, don't go.
I know, yeah, I know, exactly. Yeah. And what's one lesson you've learned on the road that you think everyone should know?
Nothing's ever going to go 100% to plan. That's, if you go out there thinking that you've got the itinerary that's absolutely perfect, it's never going to happen. It's always the unforeseen, the unknown that will blindside you, but you just have to have the resources or somebody to contact when it goes pear-shaped and you go, uh-oh, there's a train strike in Italy, I don't know what to do. Have the resources to fall back on, because it will never go 100% to plan.
No, that's right. And that's where you need your travel insurance too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. All right. So before we wrap up, let's have a little fun with quick rapid fire, okay? So don't think too hard. Just say the first thing that comes to mind, okay? Window or aisle seat?
Aisle, always.
Okay, for those long legs.
I have legs the length of a giraffe, so I have to do an aisle.
Yeah. City break or nature?
Always nature.
And your go-to travel ritual?
I always pack a scarf, no matter where I go, whether it's to protect me from the cold, be respectful for being in temples, wrap around a parapet, whatever it is, always a scarf.
Great. Travel essentials you never leave home without?
Lollies. I bet you're expecting something very deep and professional there.
Yes.
No. Yeah. No, lollies.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take that. One country that completely surprised you?
Taiwan.
Taiwan. Okay.
I've been to a lot of Asian countries, so when I went to Taiwan, I expected it to be same but different. No, it was. It's very much surprised me. So Taiwan.
Okay. Most overrated city you've been to?
I don't want to offend anybody out there, but Los Angeles.
Okay. One country still on your bucket list?
Back to Africa.
Okay.
I've dipped a toe in the bucket. I need to put the other foot in.
Right. And if you could leave...
Actually, that's not true. If it's still the African one is the one that calls me back. The one that I haven't done is Antarctica.
Ah, of course. Yes. Okay.
So I agree. That's still on the list.
Yes. If you could lead one final group trip anywhere, where would it be?
I think that would be the African one. I think to go back and do Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda potentially could be that. I'm also quite keen to do. I want to swim with the whale sharks. Okay. So I was always going to do that in Australia to be supportive of my own country, but I've done a lot of research and realized that the Philippines offers that opportunity. So the idea of taking a group of like-minded people to the Philippines to swim with the whale sharks and enjoy the beautiful islands, that could also be another one.
Okay, amazing.
So there's a couple bubbling, but the next group is Vietnam and Cambodia.
Right. Okay. See, the world is so large. There's so many places to visit.
I know.
It never ends. So Thank you, Kate. Like, it's
My
been such a
pleasure.
pleasure talking to you. Your journey is beautiful, and it's a reminder that age is never a limit. It's only a launch pad, right?
It's a launch
That
pad. I was about to say it's just a launch pad. It's the next
yeah,
chapter of where we're all going with our wonderful
correct.
world.
As much as we retire, that passion doesn't retire.
No, no, and I
Keeps
hope it never
going.
does. No.
No. So, for our listeners, whether you're planning your first big trip or your 50th, let this conversation be the sign you've been waiting for. And, Kate, where can listeners connect with you and find out more about MTA Travel in
So,
Australia?
so for our Australian listeners or even our overseas listeners, by all means, call me or email me.
Mm,
I'm accessible 24 hours a day. I will always respond to a phone call or an email. So contact me and let's just have that communication. Let's have that conversation starting.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
let's start it with that and let's work together to get your
Yeah,
dreams happening.
that's right. Absolutely. And no matter what age you are, right?
Oh, absolutely. My oldest client currently is 92.
There you go.
And he books he only cruises now out of
Uh-huh.
Brisbane, but
Okay.
he often has 2 to 3 cruises booked at a
Wow.
time. I'm
Amazing.
so in awe of him. I think it's
Yeah,
wonderful. So,
amazing.
yeah.
We'll still be doing that, Kate, even at that age.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely, we will. No, I was just going to say thank you for letting me be a part of your world. We are personally connected so very deeply, and professionally, our lives are intertwined in so many ways. But this sharing this part of your journey has been an honour. So thank you.
No, and thank you again. I look forward to hearing more of your wonderful stories, perhaps in another session, um,
Absolutely.
maybe a part two. So thank you for, being on this podcast, Travel and Wisdom After 50.
All right. Bye, Ange.
Thank you, Kate. Bye-bye.
Bye.
If today's conversation lit a spark in you to travel, to reinvent, or simply embrace life more fully, then you're right where you need to be. Don't forget to follow, share, and leave us a review. Come and connect with me on Instagram or travelsoftheworld.com. Every journey begins with a single step, and we're so grateful you've taken this one with us. Until next time, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and never stop saying yes to the world.